Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, these are some heady times. You can't even pretend that these are not heady times. Dr. That brother is steady. Oh, he's steady. And even he has had to acknowledge that, yeah, something's extra nutty right now. And it's been a wonderful encouragement for me because he is a man about the facts. And he's always understood that I was sharing something about Fukushima fallout and man-made radiation just in general. That was, the facts were backing me up. But the scope of it is so vast that I think because he's so steady, he's like, I don't know about how, far-reachingly implicating all of this is going to be, but I just keep going because early on, and I was even hesitant with you, family, in saying what, once I understood the science better each and every single year, I realized this is planet-wide obliterating. I'm so encouraged to see that many of you, and these are my Faraday gloves because I'm very sensitive to EMF radiation, but I'm very encouraged to see how many people understand that this is about Allah. It's not about me. I would have been like, no, pass her over. She just a little bit, she too happy. She's an artist, okay? But it is what it is. I've always had a fascination with science, and I love being Black. I've come to that full acknowledgement incrementally, but as a passionate person, I had to sit back and understand where my passion comes from. It comes from you. And then when I look at the greatest gifts so that this whole human population is having a heck of a lot better time than it ever was before, the world is freer. The world is saner because of Black you. That's when I was like, okay, I give all that I have to alert us about that radiation. So go on over to 25000yearcycle.org. Get the best healing products you can find anywhere, because with our products, we don't adulterate them with the nonsense to buttress the amount we create to maximize our profit. We have a profit margin, but trust and believe, it's not really all that good, because I know I wouldn't put some crap on my skin when it comes to the ointments that I use. I could tell a difference when I use my Silcare, how much I would never do that. So I offer the Silcare to you because what's in it is rosemary and calendula oil that I make myself. I don't make the rosemary oil because I can put in just a small amount of what I purchase, but the calendula oil, I mean all the oil that I use in the recipe, which is how much? 5.5 pounds worth of oil, calendula oil. I was like, I'd go broke. I'd never, it'd be $30 a bar of soap. And so, yeah, I processed that and the orange oil. Oh, it's so wonderful. And the lemongrass. It's a scent that just wakes you up. And it's not just, I have on it Beauty Bar, but it's not just for women, because it's, when you look up what those ingredients do, they just wake your skin up, oxygenated, help it to absorb some just ambient strength so that you could tell the difference when you're bathing with it, like, whoa, there's something extra good about this. So I want that for me. I offer it through our website for you. All right. Now, let's get to this incredible story where white people are telling white people, get the hell out of British Columbia. Carolyn Elliott, closures of BC parks to non-Indigenous visitors a sign of things to come. So they're going to even do this more. And this is British Columbia, which was astounding to me because this is the place that Dana Durnford went to. Now, I always, because I'm pro-black, I have to preface this. I don't wish anybody any harm, number one. And I know, because my faith in Allah is profound, deep in my soul, that when he said vengeance is his, he meant it. He meant it. We would be put into a severe checkmate state if we were to take the enticements these people are putting all over the daggone place for black you and me to be violent. You could just look to the Palestinians. You know what they do with that sort of thing. As soon as they get even a child throwing a rock, they wipe out a whole city. I'm just saying, in terms of us being such a hunted, targeted people, yet, I always say, overnight, if all white people were nice, and wouldn't that be wonderful if they could be? I don't expect that, not at all, because they're terrified of us being in control of our own sovereignty, which, that's oppressors. That's what it is. So I would love to be able to consult black people, a black man, a black woman about this, but I am the height of our warning about this in the entirety of the black globe. That is just the way it is. It is according to Allah's plan, and I submit to that. There's something that he knows that is so beyond me. And so I do this work joyously. I'm just trying to explain why I got this white dude up here. Okay? Dana Durnford. But salute and kudos to Dana Durnford. I don't give a damn if he don't like me, and I'm sure at this point in time he's moved on. Because there's a whole lot of people coming after Dana, and I watched him from the very, very beginning of Fukushima fallout. And could verify, because everything he would mention, I go look it up. And the more I look stuff up, and I'll talk about the books a little bit more later, but the more I found out that he was telling the truth. And so British Columbia is a very place right here on this map that you can't really see at all, but that's the West Coast Canada style. In British Columbia, all these little red lines, those are the arrows pointing to destinations he went to in his little dinghy boat. It's an actually, well-equipped boat. He used to be a fishing fleet captain, so that he has knowledge of the sea and of the different species that is well beyond an ordinary layman's ability. And so there's a whole bunch of people coming after Dana and trying to deride the proof that he's put out there. I don't care about what I feel about a person's, like actual spirit and I look at your deeds, and we only have one planet. And so we could work out the details later on as long as we maintain that planet. And this dude right here, he's giving out information that helps to maintain the planet if it's possible. I don't know. I'm just saying. He's done the research up on British Columbia. He's proven that it looks like Mars. It literally was the most life abundant coast in all the world. And I was like shocked to find out that that was the truth. Because the warm Kuroshi current from Japan just feeds it with everything that it needed in the past in order to sustain millions of species. And they're down to like just a couple hundred species now, including the birds. And these are reports that they make sure they keep out of mainstream news. But it's undeniable. The mure birds are going, the seagulls are going, and Dana's actually documented the die-off even on the East Coast, because all the oceans connect. They connect just through the freaking clouds and the rain, where the Pacific Ocean provides, what's it, 2/3, I think, of the rainwater and 1/3 of our oxygen. It's our circulatory system on the planet itself. And so they know, they can't deny it anymore. And so for them to, and you'll find, if you go and you look up Dana Durnford, immediately what will come up is all the reasons why he's full of crap, he's a grifter, and no, he's not. No, he's not. He is sincere in what he does. He's just a white guy, okay? And so I know when this article came up that this is what this, oh no more white people can go on up into British Columbia, but because it's so easy to fool white people just by appealing to their vainglorious aspirations, to make them think that this is somehow against them. No, this is against the indigenous population. They don't, well, first off, they're going to insist, these are our native lands. Your native lands have been rendered inhabitable. And for them to say, oh, only the indigenous, since when does Canada give a damn? They've been brutal to their indigenous people just as much as white people were brutal to indigenous people down here, native people down here. I'm not getting into our origins as black people with all of that, because that's going to be too long a conversation, and I'm not, acquainted with all of that. I can't even see the article. But anyway, this is what's happening. They're telling white people you can't go on up in there, but I got photos. This is the fires from Canada turning the sky in New York City orange. I saw it myself. And the fact that I'm the only one who just keeps repeating, like, hello, this is radiation. This phenomenon here didn't happen and hasn't happened anywhere else that wasn't frantically inundated with radiation. So that would definitely include British Columbia, where they have trajectory maps showing that, man, that sucker was it was a blizzard, a month-long blizzard, and there's no sandstorm that'll last the whole month. There's no snowstorms that, well, it's possible, but I don't even know if it would last a whole month. Okay? So this stuff deposited radioactive contamination, especially in the northern hemisphere. And up in Canada is just like one gigantic contiguous forest. And when it burned, because the radiation is hot, they could have set the fires deliberately to re-release the radiation, especially over the eastern seaboard region, because that would, sort of normalize the upswing in cancers. Because when you look at the original trajectory of the cancer surge, it starts on the West Coast, right? And they're going to, just like in Japan, they're burning the radioactive debris. Now I understand that they're using Fukushima soil all over the friggin' place. This genocide is on. It's on. And because the elites, the satanic elites, they're running out of time. And so for them to be all about, this was a meme I did for an old share, where while the first time that Trump was president, during the fires that were happening in California, where the whole western seaboard region pretty much just turned a livid orange. I mean, it was livid. Trump released the radiation sniffing helicopter in Washington, D.C. And so they know about this stuff. Dude met with Shinzo Abe before he was even sworn in as president, right? I'm not talking about fluff and dander. For them to say, oh, no, only the indigenous people could go up there, because they know the indigenous people would, if they were forcefully evacuated, would look very obvious. And then they would also protest because they're not going to say a word about what's going on. They're lying to them all the way through. And because there's no other race of people out here with anyone like me speaking from an aspect that's going to look and examine what white people do, their pathology. Because if you were in a courtroom, you would have to prove motive for genociding almost the entire planet and every single species, and the species that aren't human didn't go get the jab, that are dying. Okay? And so, yeah, the indigenous people, they don't know. They don't know that they should really be turning this offer down. I'm just hoping, yeah, there we go, back to San Francisco. Lividly orange. And it's just no big deal. The trees were burning from the inside out because it's so hot. It's so hot. The global temperature is changing, and the whole climate change thing, that, yeah, they came up with that. They fabricated that so that they could have a way to talk about it without ever mentioning the radiation, which when I went to the IAEA website and showed the globe, it shows what's causing all the heat domes all over the place. Kevin Blanche calls it a heat dome. All right? I'm just saying, this is off the hook, orchestrated by these people to just wipe out Black us primarily, but they're just looking at it as like they're spraying Raid. They're only for human beings. And they're using all of our false assumptions and, it's not weaknesses to be human, but they'll use anything they can to keep us deflected by our desires. And they have the AI now in order to keep track of all their lies through AIs, strategizing so that the enemy, it can orchestrate all or conduct all of his lies and remember all of the truths he was trying to hide with those lies a little bit better. They've eliminated through Doja, but just in general, anybody who would have been a possible whistleblower for these different agencies, so that they've just fired many of them. I remember during the whole corona hysteria, they fired bunches of people from nuclear power plants all across the United States. I'd imagine that was echoed in the rest of the world. That they've managed to create a more intense assault so that those people who might have started to question what's going on would not be able to find it, because most people aren't going to be as motivated to do that deep research. For me, I got all the books because ain't nobody talking about the books, and I put the book list at the end of this. But I said, wait a minute, there's got to be books written about this. So I started just Googling my favorite, like I would hear rumors about them, like Dr. Yuri Bandashevsky, and then I started finding books, Dr. Ernest Sternglass, and also Ralph Graub, and also, he did Baby Teeth, and I can't remember. Radioactive Baby Teeth, The Cancer Link by Joseph J. Mangano. He's still living. I don't know, he's, of course, all these books are written by white people, and I'm not mad at them because I wouldn't have been able to get the details. They have been so reassured by their opinions about us that we're all stupid, we do no further research, and so they trusted that by this generation, the whole world would be so ignorant about the destructive incompatibility with all organic matter that man-made radiation is, that there'd be nobody who would question it, especially Black us. Out of all the people they just hound is us more than anyone else. It's like if you could do any more fried chicken jokes, it would be astounding. But in reality, there are more fried chicken joints in South Korea than there are anywhere else on the planet. And the Asians, they give fried chicken for Christmas gifts. Okay, and that goes along with an origin story that I'm not going to tell because I'm not Asian. I don't need to be Asian, but I study them so that I could understand the more nuanced dynamics of simple human behavior. We are not the worst people on the planet by far. And so they're going to close the British Columbia parks to non-Indigenous visitors, while the white people who are so gullible are thinking, oh, this is more proof that they're trying to enact white genocide. No, they're trying to kill all these indigenous people who don't even realize the enormity of what they are facing. The cancer rates among the indigenous people have been soaring at a greater rate because they're in the most vulnerable places, and their diet is almost pretty much 100% seafood. And so, yeah, and I'm not laughing because it's funny in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that this is actually white people trying to sort of save white people. Because I'm like, with those fires raging, the orange skies were even visible down here in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey. Oh my goodness gracious. And in Manhattan, I showed those pictures already. That's called cesium skies, even though they hide that particular feature of man-made radiation completely. And they really, really completely hide the fact that the radiation comes in teeny tiny particles that when you ingest them are far more deadly than if you happen to just drive by Fukushima. Okay, but you didn't eat anything. Don't go. Okay, there's a lot of stupid white people mostly who are going over there for tourist visits and to do these videos where I'm now doing a walk through ghostly Fukushima. You gonna be the ghost real soon, dudes. Okay. And so, yeah, there's closing all this off, and the white people are having conniption fits. Please go on over and watch the videos that are specifically about all the dead stuff that Kevin Blanch has been doing. He is the closest to a willing to look at the totality of what his folks do person out there without, and this is where he winds up being not of benefit to himself and to humanity also, because George Carlin was great. George Carlin, he didn't pinpoint and say, this is just white people, but he came also close. And so Kevin Blanch is like a radioactive George Carlin, but not funny. Okay? But this isn't a funny situation when you're killing the whole goddamn planet. And the Pacific Ocean, most especially, that's dying first. That's where you could tell the trajectory of something according to the death spikes, which reminds me. This was an article in Daily Mail, which was very, very telling. It's right here. Scientists blow the whistle on alarmingly common habit proven to cause breast cancer in women, as one survivor says she's still angry. No one warned her of the risk. Ooh, what's going to happen when all them white people find out about how deadly Fukushima has been to their loved ones, if there's any of them left? All right. But here, I put this comment down here first. This one I put in second. This one, because this is one of them articles where you have to pay in order to read it. And so I, just came to see what it was about through the comments. And what is never mentioned happened all at once 14 years ago in parallel alignment with the spike. On the other hand, folks have been, I can't say Fukushima up on here, okay? So that's why I put the second comment, but it's interesting what they chose to delete. So I said, folks have been getting mammograms for over 40 years and drinking for tens of thousands. We're talking about a spike, not a gradual increase. So that is where I'm putting the tabulatable data facts out there, where you can see why every time they have a map about what's going wrong in the country, you can see it's over on the West Coast primarily, especially when it comes to all the dead creatures. The die-off of whales started and continues just ridiculously on the West Coast. There's stuff happening on the East Coast, but radiation there's no place where it's going to just be released by the hundreds and hundreds of tons. And it's going to just stay there, okay? And so this was the second one because I came back and I saw that they had removed my first comment. And I was like, okay, so I see no one can ever mention Fukushima fallout on here, huh? Y'all are so obvious. And so very, very funny. You guys are funny over at their DM. They left that comment there. This is, just a rollout of all the comments that I've made up on here. Dr. She's like, why you bother commenting on it? Well, what the hell? I also get to find out, as I say, it's like a petri dish. Get to find out what they hide and what they don't hide. What did I talk about? Violence there? I am so completely nonviolent. I'm just saying, they know it's Fukushima fallout. That's why they won't let people see and make an assessment for themselves the data. So, support us in what we do, because it's absolutely vital. The more capital we can gather, the more I will be able to get the equipment to test our food, because testing your food is testing my own. I'm organic, just like you, just like all our children. We deserve to know what the hell is going on, because these people ain't going to tell us dookie squat. All right? So share the video. Go to 25,000yearcycle.org. Avail yourself of our amazing products. Anybody who would be as dedicated as we are, because I ain't changed. I'm not changing to get clicks and all the rest of it, okay? Those are people that if I ran into me and Dr. She up on it, I gotta support them people somehow, some way, even if it's $1 every single month through my Patreon, or just, Dr. She has got all kinds of lectures from our incredible Baba Steve Coakley, and lots of other ones from warrior brother Khalid Muhammad. Okay, so yeah, I think I said all I could say for right now. I'll be back probably in another 10 days, even though there's plenty to talk about. Oh my God, there's so much. But I have things to do for us that are far more important than anything that the devil is going to just slather his headlines with. Okay? All right. I love you. Straight Black Pride is our ownership papers to whatever the Most High intends to be ours, and that's everything. Love you, family. Peace and blessings.